So I don't mean to start off with a huge downer, but I can't help but ask this question. When my generation and the generations before leave this world, will retro gaming leave with us? Here on this channel, I like to say keep retro gaming alive, because one day your games will be retro too. But what happens when the people keeping retro gaming alive are no longer here? Will the younger generation keep retro gaming moving forward? Or will retro games just fade away as the generations that grew up in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s start to fade away as well? I know it's a dark question, but I can't help but think about that lately. At the time of this video, I'm 43 years old, and the games that I grew up with are not readily available the way they were when I was a kid. You have to hunt these things down. You have to go game hunting. You have to check places like eBay or check like Facebook Marketplace or look in retro gaming stores that pop up in different towns. But even then, finding certain games can be difficult. And some games that you wouldn't even think would be too hard to find might be incredibly rare, and when you do find them, are very expensive. These days, there's things like emulators, and you download ROMs, and you get these hacks of different versions of games that you grew up with, but the experience is not the same. You lose getting the cartridge in hand, putting it into the console. Maybe it didn't load up right the first time, and you know all the tricks to get those things working. That experience of physically owning that game goes away once everything is digital. But back to the question, does retro gaming fade away with the young generation now moving forward with all of these insanely expensive and movie-like video games that are out there in the world? Everything feels like a film production at this point, rather than just a game where you're just trying to beat your friend's high score. So what happens when my generation goes away? Will retro gaming outlive us? Or does it fade away with us? Introducing the games that I grew up with to my kids has been met with a bit of a mixed response. Some of them, they get into it right away. Other times, they'll try it out, but then they lose interest very quickly and usually won't go back to it. But then there's sometimes a very surprising case, like for example, my daughter fell in love with the original Final Fantasy games. She saw me playing the newer ones with Final Fantasy VII Remake and things like that, and I showed her the original Final Fantasy VII, and then we got the Pixel Remaster bundle of 1 through 6. And she started playing Final Fantasy 1, which I know is not the original release of the game. It is remastered, but at its core, it is the same game. And she fell in love with it and has been playing through it and absolutely loves it. That said, I could hand her a different retro game, and I could get the complete opposite response to it. I think the amount of work that goes into playing the games that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s is something that actually pushes away the current generation. Right out of the gate, the game shows a level of difficulty that kids today are not used to, and that right there turns them off from playing the game. They may try it for a little while, but then they put it down. And getting them to come back to it to try it again, give it another shot to see if they can do better, it feels like the cases of them actually coming back are few and far between. So how do we keep retro gaming alive? How do we get the younger generation to actually want to play these games? At the time of this video, it's October of 2025, and it's starting to feel like retro gaming is making a bit of a comeback. We've been getting releases of collections of games that we grew up with. Things like, for example, the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, which I absolutely love. It contains 13 releases from that franchise, and my kids really enjoy playing those, as do I. Getting to play those games again is fantastic. Is the experience the exact same? No, it's very different, especially when you're playing an arcade game from home. Or you're playing a Nintendo game and you didn't pop that cartridge in or blow into the cartridge hoping that it would work when you pop it into the NES. So the experience is different, but at least the game is there and available to play. At the time of this video, we are soon going to be getting the re-release of the original Mortal Kombat games in its own collection. But again, that experience is going to be very different. It's different playing a fighting game at home versus playing it in the arcade. It's also different when there's updated features like rewind, or removing the scan lines, or changing the frame rate of the game. All kinds of things that these digital releases do to quote-unquote enhance the game. In many cases, you can turn these enhancements off to get as close as possible to the original experience, but overall, that experience is changed. But even with these remastered collections cleaning up these old games, it's still a mixed experience when it comes to the younger generation trying out these games and whether or not they're actually going to lean into them and want to play more of them. We have other games coming down the pipeline at this time where 16-bit style side-scrolling shooters are coming back. We have a Terminator 2 video game coming out soon at this time that looks like it was originally released on the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis. It's one of my most anticipated titles coming out, but I'm worried about it. I want it to be successful. I want it to start something amazing. But my concern is, how well will it do on the video game market? How many people will purchase this game? And after purchase, how many people will continue to play it? These are the things that worry me as a retro gamer. I don't know what happens after my time in this world is done. Will my kids even want to hang on to these systems that I've collected over the years? Or will they be donated? Will they be sold? Will they be thrown away? What happens to all of the VHS tapes, the cassette tapes, the DVDs, the Blu-rays, all of the physical media that I've collected over the years? Where does that go? Will anyone care? Will it gain value? Will it lose value? Will they just sit on a shelf or in a box and collect dust until the end of time? I don't know. I don't have those answers. But I certainly have the questions. So I guess my ultimate question is it even truly possible to keep retro gaming alive? I guess it comes down to how my generation and the generations before me present these games to the current generation. It's all about how we share the experience with them. If you're a parent, or maybe you have nieces and nephews, or maybe you're an uncle to your friends' kids, it's how we get them involved with retro gaming and how they experience it with us. I think if we leave the current generation to experience it on their own, that's where we're going to fall short. I think it's up to us, the generation that grew up with these video games, to share in that experience with our kids, with the future, and show them what it was like when we played these for the first time. Get excited about it, show them how happy it made us, and when they see us enjoying this, they're going to have a great time as well. They're going to see the joy that's in our eyes as we load up Super Mario Brothers, or we fire the light gun in Duck Hunt. They're going to see us get excited as we win a match in Street Fighter 2, or get frustrated when we couldn't hit that fatality move in Mortal Kombat. They're going to see us experience it, and they're going to want to be a part of it. But that's the key. We have to be a part of it. And to be honest, and again, I apologize for bringing this to a darker tone, but our time is running out. If we don't share retro gaming today, then keeping it alive tomorrow is only going to be that much more difficult. So if you're a retro gamer like me, and you have the opportunity to share that experience with the younger generation, take advantage of it. Share that experience with them. Let them be a part of it. Let them see it through your eyes so that they can get at least a glimpse of what it was like before their time. Show them that excitement. And by doing that, they'll be excited about it too and want to try more of these games that have been out for so many years before they even existed in this world. And I think that's the key to keeping retro gaming alive, because one day their games will be retro too.